want the outcome to just be, I want to just see a good game. You ever
Like
said that too? Yeah, you don't
Clippers
really.
Suns last
Really-
night. Can we talk about the wall?
Did you the requirements to get, or not the requirements, but how you can get in the wall?
Yeah, you got to be vetted.
You got to be vetted. You got to be active on social media. You got to have a Clippers hat. You probably got to have a jersey. Let's see what else you have. You have to have Microsoft Office on your computer due to Steve Ballmer.
You have to show proof that you've been to a Clippers game in the last 3 years.
KD said it was tough. He said the
Yeah.
wall made a difference.
Well, the way it was described and what it looked like, it's like Cameron Indoor Stadium, like a college student section right behind the basket in the NBA. So people aren't on their phones or on Twitter or like walking around the club. They're there to cheer and root for their fans and cause some havoc.
I read an article on Ballmer, kind of in just everything that's going to go into that stadium, all the technology, everything that's, Ballmer wanted to make it just a place to watch basketball, right? Just incorporate, everyone's there for basketball, to your point. And the first thing, like they had a visiting team during the preseason and they didn't have enough garbage cans or something. And he was livid, we need, get more garbage cans in there. But Ballmer's done it right.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, the stadium part, I don't know about the personnel and the team.
Right.
There's just so much the wall and the dome can do.
Right.
But without Kawhi Leonard and another person, because Harden's getting older, the Clippers are at the bottom of the West.
Ooh, come on. We're one game into the season.
I'm just saying.
Relax.
They did not pass the eye test in game 1.
Let's focus on football.
Hello and welcome to Big Ben and K-Win. Each week we broadcast live on nofilter.net and YouTube. If you also want to check us out, we have our podcast. Download, listen, subscribe, 5 stars anywhere you get your podcast. Today we're brought to you by Clean and Simple Foods. Unjunking food, one cookie at a time. No sugars, high in protein, high in deliciousness. I love Clean and Simple Foods. Check out the banner. Drop your comments below. I'm K-Win. He's Big Ben. And what do you want to start today?
Let's strap in. Top 10, college football. Pull it over. The seatbelt or the lap belt, get that on. Top 10, comprised of 3 Big Ten teams.
Okay.
4 SEC teams.
Okay.
A single Big 12 team and 2 ACC teams. Going into the season, let's if you crystal balled that going into the season, I think that's a good mix.
Yeah, we said last week the SEC would get 5.
Relative to, let's say, relative to the strengths of the conferences, I think that's an adequate representation of each conference of the Power 4. Now, my question to you, would you rather be a 1-loss SEC team or an undefeated Iowa State?
As of right now or at the end?
Right now.
One-loss SEC team.
1-loss SEC team. Okay.
Yeah. Because it's football. The power conference.
It is the power conference.
It holds more weight. You always talk about strength and schedule, who you play against, and what you do against who you play against.
It's all
Iowa
relative,
State
right?
Barely won. They're barely winning.
Against UCF, right? And it's all relative.
Barely beat Iowa.
Barely beat Iowa. Everyone barely beats Iowa.
Yeah.
My next question, December 8th. Come December 8th. Of those 10 teams, right? If it were to end today, I bet you all 10 of those teams would likely make the playoff, right? Give me the 2 that are in danger of not making.
I got to go look at the top 10 right now. Can you tell me them?
So you got in the top 10, you got Oregon, Penn State, and Ohio State. In the top 5, actually, from the Big 10. In the Big 12, you have Iowa State, the lone representative, at number 10. You have 2 ACC schools kind of sandwiched in there, Clemson and Miami. And then you have 4 SEC schools in Georgia, Texas, LSU, and Tennessee.
Okay. So we are 2 weeks away from our first college football playoff ranking of the season. And we only have 6 weeks left in the season. You're saying who is in jeopardy of missing out in the top 10?
In the top 10, December 8th comes around when the college football playoff bracket
Yeah.
is, let's call it, what is it? It's exposed. It's
Finalized?
revealed. It's revealed to the country. Who misses out from those 10? Or are all those 10 solid at this point?
No, I'm saying Ohio State, if they don't win, I think it's this weekend against Penn State, they are in jeopardy. A two-team Big Ten, a two-team loss, or I'm sorry,
Two
that's
two
correct.
lost
A
team.
two-loss team in the Big Ten is not as good as a two-loss team in the SEC. I think Ohio State is in trouble, and then I'm also going LSU. I don't believe in Brian Kelly, and I do not believe in the Tigers. I think they're more like the team that lost to USC in week 1, and I think the back end of their schedule is going to come up. I'll go LSU, and then I'll go Ohio State if Ohio
Oh,
State
Ohio
loses.
State. So Ohio State's plays Wisconsin. I believe they play Penn State
Yeah,
in 2 weeks. I believe. I think there's a UW whiteout game in Penn State up in college place or station. College place. Do I have
College
that right?
Station.
College Station. What's Texas A&M's home field called? Or what?
Oh,
I think we
College
have those mixed.
Station is Texas A&M. What is Penn State? College Station. You are correct.
Correct. Both college stations. Two stations. Two college stations.
No, no, no. You just confused it. Penn State is College Station.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, either way, a bigger game. LSU going into Texas A&M this week. So I have 3 matchups this weekend. I want you to predict.
Okay.
So the first one is probably in terms of national attention. Probably going to go get the most eyes. I would imagine. I might be wrong here. Notre Dame versus Navy. Navy's undefeated.
Yeah,
Notre Dame a 1-loss team. This is a must-win for both teams. Navy, you lose, you're probably out of the conversation. Notre
absolutely.
Dame, you lose, you're probably out of the conversation. Who wins that game?
Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'll be rooting for Navy.
Next game, and I believe this is a winner out type situation. Bama versus Mizzou.
Wow. Where is that game?
I believe it's in Bama. So
Bama's got a hard schedule.
they have a tough one, eh? Yeah, it's in Bryant Denny Stadium in Tuscaloosa. It's going to be on ABC. Missouri's still a 1-loss team in the SEC, but they probably played the softest schedule of anyone in the SEC to date.
I got to roll with Bama and the Tide at home in Tuscaloosa.
Bama's
Kalen
going
DeBoer
to.
is still trying to figure out the culture of his team, the dynamics of the offense, how to get Ryan Williams the ball every damn time down the field. Yep, I'm sticking with my guns. I'm going Bama.
Bama hangs around so that they can make every justification in the world as to why they should be in the college football playoff with 2.
They have to win. They can't
They
lose.
do. You can't lose to Vandy and then lose at home to Missouri and expect
And
to win.
also Tennessee. You can't do it.
No, and if they lose, DeBoer might be
Yeah.
short lived in Tuscaloosa. I mean, you can't come in and not make the college football playoffs. Last game
Okay.
on the college football side, LSU at A&M. This is a winner in my opinion.
A&M.
You win, and you're in.
LSU, I don't believe on them.
You don't believe in them.
Brian Kelly, bad dude, bad coach.
Why
Give
is
me
that
the
dude?
Aggies.
Why is
He's
Brian Kelly
always
bad?
grumpy. He's always complaining. Instead of using stuff to fire up his squad, he's just complaining. He's the curmudgeon. I don't know how old he is, but it seems like he's like the 85, the guy that's yelling, "Get off my lawn" with his cane. That's
True,
Brian Kelly.
but he's participating in like these recruiting photog compilations, mashups. I don't get Brian Kelly. I'm with you. I don't get him all that much. He was a great fit at Notre Dame, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Great fit at Notre Dame. I don't wonder what LSU does to lure these coaches.
They give him a big pay. LSU has a track record of not hiring great coaches. If we go back, I know he won the Natty. What's the big guy's name?
At Oregon.
Yeah. Great recruiter, not a good coach. Brian Kelly, bad dude, bad coach. It's a bad combo.
A&M's a tough place to play.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. This is a winner in. If A&M wins, they have a fast track. They could probably lose one more, maybe be a 2-loss team in the SEC and in the college football playoff. We're
Here's
in
my
the
sleeper, Big Ben.
okay.
I'm going outside of the top 10 in the ACC. They're going to win the ACC. They're going to get the at-large bid. I don't even know if they're calling it
Florida
the
State.
at-large bid, but I'm going to say it's like college basketball to college football. The at-large bid, the conference champ. I'm going Pittsburgh, the Panthers right now. They are sitting at 19. They're undefeated. They've got Pat Narduzzi at the helm. He's building the winner out there. And they got Eli Holstein, freshman QB. He's accurate. He's efficient. He's playing good ball. I think they win the ACC. That's my sleeper that's going to sneak in. Sorry, Dabo. Sorry, Cam. Go Panthers.
Let's look at their schedule real quick. So who
Yeah.
they beat? Kent State, that still hasn't won. They beat a good Cincinnati team. West Virginia's horrible. Youngstown State is a FCF school. They beat North Carolina at North Carolina, good win. They barely squeaked by. Everyone barely squeaks by California these days. But they got a tough schedule coming down the stretch. So they host Syracuse, but then they go play at SMU. Then they host Virginia and Clemson, but you play at Louisville and then at Boston College to end. Those are
They've won all the games they should have.
to this point.
The playoff is out in front of them. It's for them to go get.
To this point, that's
the ACC isn't as strong as it usually is.
Okay, sure.
That's my dark horse. I'm just saying it's my dark horse.
Okay, I do like their helmets.
Yeah,
they got solid helmets. I don't think much has changed on the Heisman rankings or the Heisman. Cam Ward's still your leader. Travis Hunter's still out there.
What about Ashton Genty? Is he number 2?
Yeah. I was just gonna say Ashton. Listen, when you play in Boise, you're kind of there's a reason they have the blue turf.
Smurf turf.
Because if they didn't, it wouldn't be as appealing to anyone else. Well, that's all I got for college football. Big games. I want to see Navy beat Notre Dame. Missouri's not going to beat.
Out the Ducks playing the Fighting Illini. That's a big game too.
The Fighting Illini's helmets last week. Holy guacamole, those were awesome.
Yeah,
they look like they were back in the 30s.
Yeah, college game day in Indiana, first time ever. Hoosiers playing your Huskies.
The Hoosiers quarterback is out. That's a big loss, obviously, for them. Anytime your starter goes down, but Indiana's head coach is an interesting guy. If you don't like Brian Kelly, I don't like this guy. He says
he's under the what's his name, Nick Saban coaching tree.
He is, and he came out and he said, if you don't realize I win, Google me. He's got a good track record.
Ooh.
But that's not exactly humility or humbleness there.
Okay.
You check your ego at the door, buddy. And in that regard, I hope Washington trounces them. But they won't.
You're rooting for the Huskies?
Listen.
Long pause there.
I have a soft spot in my heart for the Huskies. A lot of my family went to UW. And as long as Brick is a big fan. As long as I don't have to. As long as it's not the Apple Cup, I reserve the right to root for the Huskies. In this case, I would. I'd like to see them beat some guy without their quarterback in Bloomington, Indiana, but that's not going to work.
If you can be a Husky and a Cougs fan, I can be a Lakers and Clippers fan.
No, it doesn't work like that.
It's the same thing.
No, it's not. How many Clippers games have you been to?
I can't get to the wall. I've been the last 3 years.
It's easy enough for you to switch hats at a bar and go to a different bar stool and start talking to someone else. That's easy.
Okay.
That's easy. But I guess, sure, go ahead.
I'll work on my fandom.
You can go Clippers likes. What's going on in the NFL? A lot going on in the NFL.
Tua is back. 2-4 Dolphins. It is Thursday morning. He's on track to play this week. My first question to you is, can Tua lead the Dolphins to a playoff berth?
What are they, 2-4?
2-4.
That division is. Listen, you're going to get the Jets. I don't. Have they played the? They probably played a couple of division games.
They haven't played the Jets yet. That's coming in 2 weeks.
So they haven't played the Jets yet. Can Tua lead? I would just like to see if Tua can lead in general. Like, let's see if he can lead the team. To be honest, like he's coming back from another concussion. Tyreek Hill has said, he shed a tear or like, just emotional when he saw him take the field. The guy's going through a lot. I think they'll give him opportunity to do so if they're trending in that direction. They have the resources or the players, right? They got a good H-hand, they got Hill, they got Waddle, they got they got the
They got the dudes.
they got the dudes, they got the firepower. But
Ooh.
if you lose 2 more games out of the next probably 4, maybe 3, let's call it 3, you got to look at the long-term trajectory of that organization. If 2 is your guy, you might shut him down. Tyler Huntley's not going to win you many games, but you don't want to go out, You saw what happened to Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, right? Especially Chris Godwin.
Part of football.
But Godwin got hurt when the game didn't matter. It was out of the reach, right?
I don't know. They score, kick a field goal, onside, come back.
Yeah,
the game
yeah.
is not over until there's triple zeros on that clock.
Oh, no, the game was over. Everyone knew the game was over. Chris Godwin knew the game was over. But you still put him out. My point being is if you have seen the backup quarterbacks on the Dolphins, your product is significantly less valuable with anyone but Tua. So if you're not going to win this year, why
are they going to make the playoffs? Stop hedging your bet.
No.
Wow.
No.
That's where you're wrong.
The AFC. No, they won't.
All right. The AFC, I want to talk about the middle class of the AFC.
Ooh.
The division leaders are all good, right? You've got the Chiefs, you've got the Bills, you've got the Titans, you've got the Ravens.
Titans.
It's kind of like, I'm sorry, Ravens, Chiefs, Texans, Bills. Got my T's mixed up. But everyone else is the middle class. It's kind of like the Chiefs, they're like Jeff Bezos. No one really likes them. Then you got, all these other leaders. And everyone beneath them are like these bubbling startups trying to compete. I want you to look at the middle class here. You've got the Steelers, Colts, Broncos, Chargers, Bengals, and Dolphins battling it out. I don't know if I believe in the Colts or the Broncos. I don't know how the Broncos have 4 wins. And the Chargers, I mean, it's just Justin Herbert. He's got no one to throw the ball to. The Dolphins have a chance. Even Cincinnati, who started out, 1-3, they have a chance. I think the Bengals and the Dolphins both make it in because the middle class in the AFC is bad.
It is bad. And Browns had no chance, no shot. Russ propelled. I mean, the Steelers, look at the points differential, though. You got the Bills with plus 60, and then you have the Steelers with plus 60. That's something. The Steelers defense is still pretty good.
The Steelers D is great. It's the offense that we worried about, but Russ looked better than I thought. I guess Mike Tomlin saw something in practice that we weren't privy to because Russ looked good.
And you think of the South, like the Jaguars are brutal. Titans are brutal. The Titans are in sell mode. Hopkins
Anthony Richardson's still trying to figure it out.
I know. That's the thing. You talked about wild card. Like if the Colts, Jonathan Taylor, Michael Pittman, Downs, they have the pieces too, and they play indoors. Richardson just can't. They're trying. They're trying. They're trying to repair the plane while it's in the air with Richardson. He's just got to figure it out. And I think the Colts are a really good team. Taylor's been hurt too. For them to be 4-3.
But they don't know who they are, right? Are they a running team where it's going to be Taylor or even Sermon and Richardson's going to run? Or are they a passing team, right? When Flacco was in there, they completely changed because they had to. Now they're still trying to figure out what their scheme is.
Yeah.
What their...
I don't know. Yeah, I have no idea when it comes to the AFC. So I would say let's call them the upper middle class. I'll call them that. I think you got the Broncos, the Colts, the Steelers.
The Broncos are upper middle?
Yeah, upper middle class. I think so. You saw what Sean Payton did. He's a good coach. Everyone will say he's a good coach.
He is a good coach.
Bo Nix might fit that offense a little bit. It's ugly. It's not pretty, but the defense is really, really good. and they're going to give you positive field position or a lot of good field position.
Maybe Russ was just in a bad situation in Denver.
I mean, I think
he's
no,
not.
no. I think it's listen, Sean, not Sean McVay, excuse me.
Sean
Who's
Payton.
Sean Payton? Excuse me, Sean Payton. Russ wasn't Sean Payton's guy.
Well, so Bo Nix is Sean Payton's
Yes,
guy.
they
I'm just
drafted
saying.
him. They
I'm
drafted
saying
him.
this. The product on the field looks the same. That's all I'm saying.
I don't know if it does. I don't know if it
minus,
does.
30 million.
Right. So there's better players around him. I would say that's your upper middle class. And Broncos simply because defense wins. And we've seen the teams in their division. This is why I say that too. Chargers don't have an offense. They don't. Raiders don't have an offense. And the Chiefs barely have an offense.
You're going to play those they just traded for Hopkins.
Listen, you can mash up Hopkins, Juju, like they're just having like anyone comes to the party and whoever can play and perform will play. But Mahomes is having a down year too. Like I don't know. I like the Broncos. I like the Colts too.
Okay. What about the Jets?
I don't know. I feel like the Jets are the Lakers of the NFL. Like it looks cool on paper, but it ain't that great. The product's not that great on the field.
Lakers beat the T-Wolves.
Hold on. Last year. I'm saying last year.
Okay.
Right? You got players that are always, that hurt but banged up and like they look good on paper. It's just the product in the field doesn't resemble what, the players on paper.
How many more losses before Aaron Rodgers? How many more losses before Aaron Rodgers says, I can't go on the Pat McAfee show this week and talk about how bad the Jets are?
Oh.
Does he have an opt-out? If the Jets are 3-8, is he coming on weekly?
Yeah, is there some sort of hey, there's a contingency in the contract? Like, hey, if we're, if our point differential is below 40, I'm not coming on. Like something along those lines. I think it's kind of sickening, to be honest. Like, if I'm a Jets player, the Jets organization, like let's just keep it in house.
Yeah.
In a sense, right? Let's focus on the game. Like I see Travis Kelce in Kellogg's Frosted Flakes commercials, and you wonder
he hasn't scored a touchdown.
You're wondering why he's not producing on the field, right? Like I
just don't think. I think his age is caught up to him. It's got nothing to do with off the field. And he just is not as explosive. He's not running in out of routes. I know he's getting double teamed, but that used to not be a problem.
Who? Devontae?
Kelce.
Oh, Kelce.
He just can't get open.
He can't.
He's a decoy.
He is the decoy. And no one else is catching the ball, so he's a decoy for no one. Like I don't know.
Let's get back to my Jets. I always rag on the Jets. But if the Jets win 4 out of their next 5, they're in the hunt. So let's walk through it right now, okay? 4 out of the next 5.
Oh, jeez.
The Jets right now are 2-5. They play the Pats, so they'll be 3-5. Then they play the Texans, 3-6. But then they play the Cards, the Colts, and the Seahawks. They could get to 6-6 before they play Miami and drop to 6-7. These next 5 weeks are big.
We should go to that December 1st game.
Let's go.
Go back to Ainsworth. I don't doubt you in that. Like, listen, anytime you get an injection of players' personnel, like the playbook wasn't oriented for, players coming in, right? It was oriented towards the resources that you had going into the season. So I think once they incorporate Devontae a little more, like Breece Hall's a really good running back. Garrett Wilson's good. Conklin's not horrible. Lazard's showing up.
Hassan Reddick's back.
Hassan Reddick, right? If you can do that, you probably have to go win 4 of your next 5. Absolutely.
And what they have going for them is the NFL wants them to be successful. That's why their schedule looks like this right now. And maybe they'll get some calls.
But on paper, right? Like they are the Lakers of last year. Like everyone's like, they should be good, right? But they just can't produce. Everyone's aging. But they are in the right division to make a push. They are in the right division.
Here's my slight counter to that argument. LeBron is still a top 10 player in the NBA. Aaron Rodgers is not a top 10 quarterback in the NFL, and he's definitely not a top 10 player.
Fair, fair. Aaron Rodgers doesn't, he believes he does, but he doesn't have the cachet that Tom Brady had. Like,
Right.
truth be told, right? And now we see this, like, this relationship, Devontae and Aaron parallel Gronk and Tom Brady. Like, hey, come play with me. The difference is Tom Brady produced. He went and got a championship with Tampa Bay. Right? And I think Aaron Rodgers is trying to resurrect that same formula, but it's not working.
No. Well, and
It's not.
Aaron almost wants the exact same formula, right? He wants his offensive guy, Daniel
Mhm.
Hackett. He wants Adams. He wants Lazard. Like Brady did it with a bunch of different dudes in a
Yep.
different system, and he adapted to like the system and his guys. But Aaron Rodgers doesn't want to like give up 5 years ago, 7 years ago. He wants that same system, the same guys, but they're older.
He doesn't want to learn a new playbook.
No.
Let's be honest. At that age, you're like, I'm done. Just keep it simple. Give me what I can do. I don't want to go out and have to learn some new playbook. And you know what?
And
The
that's why they're 2-5.
exactly, because they know everyone knows the Aaron Rodgers playbook. What passes he wants to throw, where he
And
wants to
he's
throw
not
it.
nimble, so he's
He
not even
isn't.
like getting out of the pocket, really. He's either throwing
Exactly.
the ball away or throwing it to the other team.
I agree. Let's go NFC, can we?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, big game. Bills at Seahawks.
Wow.
Big game.
Who are you
Big
rooting
game.
for?
I just want a good game, like I said. I just want to see a good game. But I did hear this, and this is why I'm a Bills fan. You listen to sports radio, or I do every so often. Some guy came on. He said Josh Allen is one of the top 5 quarterbacks I've ever seen in my life. And this guy was a quarterback in the NFL, Hugh Millen, and it got me to thinking.
Like physical abilities or like
Physical
what?
abilities, strength of arm, being
So
able
at
to
a com-
run. What's that?
so at a combine.
Sure. Yeah. You put Josh Allen at a combine with every other quarterback that's been in the NFL, he's probably in the top 5. And I would agree with that.
I would agree with that.
And now he has better wide receivers. Going into the season, you thought Keenan Coleman was going to have to be the dude
Yeah.
for the Bills. He doesn't have to be there anymore. You got Cooper. I think Cooper opens up Kincaid quite a bit. Cook's back. We saw what Ray Davis did
Mm-hmm.
on Thursday Night Football. Just a beast last week. They're going to be rested. I think the Bills, obviously they're 5-2. Everyone in the division hasn't won 2 games or more. So you could probably take 2 buys at this point, right? You can rest some people, maybe.
And
Maybe.
playing for home field.
Maybe.
Do not want to go to Kansas City.
That's true. You don't want to do that again for like the 5th time in the last 6 years. But that's a big game in the NFC. The NFC North is stout,
Yeah.
very stout. But I think the big thing in the NFC was how long is Jaden Daniels out?
Yeah. They play the
How,
Bears this week. I would have loved, I mean, it's Thursday. He's day to day. Him versus Caleb.
it would have been a great game. Could have been a great game. Maybe a great game. Maybe a great game. But if you look, I want to go to your middle class thing. So you got the Bucks and Falcons. It's called
Middle
Humble.
class is only in the AFC. The NFC is stout because my Niners are not middle class citizens.
Your Niners are definitely not middle class. Let's say their stock is down a little bit now.
They're close to poverty right now.
Right. Ricky Purcell's your only healthy wideout per se.
Juwan Jennings
Juwan
is coming
Jennings.
back.
Yeah. What's the take on the Niners in Niner fandom or kingdom
The
right
take
now?
is Brock Purdy had all the weapons and all the tools and the scheme, and he was flying high. Pay him his $50 million a year he produces because he's not Mr. Irrelevant. Now it's like you don't have all the guys, so you've got to prove your value and your worth and get some
Mm-hmm.
wins to get this contract.
3
I
and
don't
7.
think he is as good as everyone said he was. I don't think he's as bad as he's playing now. I think he is a low-key tier 2.5 quarterback, and I think he will play better because he's played awful the last couple of weeks.
I mean, it's not who you are with everything. It's like, how do you present when times are bad, right?
Yes.
Or how do and that loss to the Chiefs with 3 interceptions. If you had lost to the Seahawks, that would have been 3 straight losses.
Yeah.
And you would have lost, let's see, that would have been 2, you've only won 2 out of the last 5, so you would have only lost 1 out of the last 6, and your lone win to open the season was with the Jets. You're right. Listen,
And you're 1-2 in the division, losing the Cardinals and the Rams. Those are the games you have to win. And
you
as
have
like
to
a
win.
top quarterback, you got to find a way to win.
And your top quarterback is not going to have his. And this is a big game. Niners, Cowboys. Let's go back 3 decades, and this was the game of the year every year. Niners, Cowboys. Dak's going to be there. Who wins the game?
Niners. Cowboys are down.
Yeah,
McCarthy's on the hot seat. This is in
he's
San
always on the hot seat.
Francisco. The Cowboys D is banged up, right? Like Micah Parsons is out. They've got some other players out. The Cowboys have no run game. Like as bad as the Niners are, the Cowboys are even worse.
Can we talk about how good the Lions are?
They're great.
I mean, these aren't.
What did I say? Lions Texans? Can I change that to Lions Ravens Super Bowl?
Yes, after last week, absolutely you can. I agree. I mean, Lamar Jackson, like, when you watch someone like Steph Curry, you just watch him, he's on fire, can't miss, right? Lamar Jackson gets like that in a game where like the game is so fluid to him.
Yeah, and how do you defend him if he's throwing it like that out of the pocket?
You can't.
And then, oh, by the way, you got King Henry closing out games.
Lions, Ravens would be, I think, the matchup everyone wants to see.
Yeah.
Let's take that. Let's take that. Can you sacrifice your Niners getting the Super Bowl just so we can watch a good one?
Well, at this point, it doesn't look like they're going. I still got my red, but it's Georgia Bulldogs red. Go Dogs. Looked good last week. Beat number 1.
You and the bandwagons.
Listen, I've been on Georgia since Hines Ward, since Kirby Smart was a DB there.
Since Sean Moreno?
Yep. Garrison Hurst.
God, that's going back even further. Go further. Can you?
David Pollock?
David Pollock.
DeAndre Swift?
That's going forward. Forward. All right, that's all I had for the NFL. Big matchup. Bills. I don't think the Jets got to win, to your point, 4 out of the next 5. I think they're still piecing parts together. The Lions, the NFC North's just stacked. The Vikings are good. Aaron Jones might be out for a little bit, but anytime you got Justin Jefferson on your team, you're okay.
He's back. His hip's okay. He played last week.
I know. I didn't say he wasn't back.
Okay.
I said he's anytime you got him. Sammy Darnold's a little dinged up, though.
Cooper Kupp, is he going to get traded?
Ooh. Here's, in baseball, when you do a little like, this guy might be slumping, but we got to put him out on the field just to attract some suitors, and hope he goes 3 for 4 one game, and then the stock.
Is that why he's playing tonight against the Vikings?
Yes, that is why he's playing. Because if you were the Rams and you were in it and you had any inkling for the future, you wouldn't put him out there again.
Yeah.
But you want to get the strongest return. You want to bookend that first game of 25 targets and like 15 catches with another game exactly like that. If they are going to trade him, they're going to go to him a lot.
Oh, yeah. They're going to feature him tonight.
The motivation won't be to win the game. It will be to get the strongest return on Cooper Kupp. So
Adams was traded for a 3rd round. Cooper, I think, a 3rd. Hopkins for a 5th. What are you going to get for Cooper Kupp? 4th or 5th round pick?
You're hoping for a 3rd. Yeah. The bar's been set. Right now it's a 4th, but you could play if he plays well tonight, it's a 3rd.
Well, I was looking at the wide receivers out there. It's Deontay Johnson, like Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins. Like these guys, I would rather have a Cooper Kupp potentially injury risk than these other wide receivers.
Yeah. I mean, there's a little bit of a lot of Jameson Williams can't stop taking performance enhancing drugs. But yet that's a huge loss for the Lions, right? You got Tim Patrick, and that just says that as much as we pay, there's a reason they pay the best wide receiver so much.
Yeah.
Because there definitely is a difference in the game.
Early report, Cooper Kupp to the Steelers. Maybe. I'd love to see one of the teams that are already good get better in the AFC. Ravens. What if the Ravens packaged up some draft picks and they're tier 2 wide receivers for Kupp? Let's go
No,
for it.
no. Here's why.
Well, I know they won't do it,
No,
but it would be great if they did.
I could see Cooper Kupp to the Colts.
Ooh.
That would give Anthony Richardson a good slot wideout. When you get a good slot wideout like Cooper Kupp, it's all you have to tell the guys, throw it right here, and he'll be there. Benefit the Colts big time.
I'll take your Colts and one up you. Cooper Kupp to the Commanders and Cliff Kingsbury's offense.
Ooh.
Jaden Daniels.
Ooh, Jaden Daniels is accurate. He's accurate. I like that pick.
I think he's definitely going to the AFC. There's no way he's staying in the NFC if he gets traded.
Well, I think we're definitely getting out of here.
Let's get out of here. At Big Ben Kwin _. At Big Ben Kwin _. Anywhere you get your social media, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Threads. Download, listen, subscribe, 5-star us. Drop your comments below if you watch this live or on demand. And show some, ways that you're a Clippers fan so you can get on that wall.
Do we have enough posts about the Clippers to get on the wall?
No, probably not. Because you made fun of James Harden for years and years about...
If I can get on the wall, I'll show up with a Harden jersey. I'm just not going to wear it into the stadium. I'll only put it on while the gameplay is being played, and then I'll take it off afterwards.
That's fair.
Can we talk to Ballmer and the brass to see if I can make that happen?
Let's see what I can do.
The Intuit Dome.
Yeah.
The Intuit Dome.
Well, I mean, we could probably get tickets the second half of the season when the Clippers are 20 games under 500.
Oh, all right. Tune in. Hawks, Bills.
Boom.
Good game. Boom.